What is up, my butter biscuits? Y'all, in today's video, I'm gonna try my hardest to keep this review as short as possible. However, y'all know with my reviews, I just feel like there is so much to talk about, especially within today's video. Obviously, as you guys can tell by the side of the video, I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Lunar Beauty Outer Dimension face palette. This is something that I really did want to get my hands on because I was so intrigued to see how deep the shades actually go. Just in case you guys didn't see, I did do a couple commentary videos about this because Manny MUA did receive some backlash for it not being inclusive enough. And I said within my videos, I was like, you know what? This is something that I want to get my hands on to actually see in person because his blush palette, the Moon Prism palette, really did like open up my eyes to see things a little bit more different, because that's something that I looked at within his video as well as online, that I was like, you know what? A few of them shades look way too ashy, like I would never use them, and those are like my favorite shades ever since using it in person. Shout out to Renelle Smith, she sent me that palette, and it's legitimately my favorite blush palette ever. I love it. The formulation is so amazing. It is so like buildable. It's like one of those formulas that you could wear it very sheer if you wanted to, but then build it up really dramatic, and that's what I love in a blush, because sometimes they're way too intense, you know? So this is something that I really wanted to see because I was like, you know what? Underneath studio lighting and like bomb photography, things tend to look a little bit too light because of the lighting, you know what I'm saying? And there was actually a few pictures that I saw from Manny MUA's Instagram that I did talk about within one of my commentary videos that I was like, you know what, the palette does look way more in depth when it's taken from a iPhone camera rather than underneath all the studio lighting. After receiving this in person, I do want to say, just to let you guys know right off the bat, I definitely do think that the shades are not deep enough. He did say that within his video it's not going to cover everybody. However, I do want to say, just like he says, compared to what is out there on the market, I do think that this is pretty inclusive. However, there is one thing I want to let you guys know right off the bat that kind of confused me about this, seeing it in person. Just to let you guys know, I will go into swatches. I'll put foundation on the back of my hand and do complete swatches of this palette so that way you guys can see it. Probably just of the like bronzer contour shades, probably not the highlight shades, you know what I'm saying? But one thing that did confuse me about this was this shade specifically. Just letting you guys know right off the bat, I looked at this and I was like, this could literally show up like a highlight on me. And I totally do understand that he did want to be inclusive towards people that were very fair skin as well too. However, I want to say, if you guys are familiar with MAC Studio Fix powders at all, this looks like it could be an NC15 powder. Like, it is so light, it looks like it could be on the highlight side. So I was a little bit confused about that, you know, being that this is obviously supposed to be the bronzer slash contour side. I do actually have a friend who is NC15, and this would not show up on her as a bronzer or contour. Like I said, I will swatch it so that way we can see the depths of it, but just looking at it just in the pan, I'm like, that shade to me, honestly, just right off the bat, I would have got rid of completely, and I would have gone a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like this shade right here could have been a good bronzer for somebody that is fair skin as well too. And another thing, before we get into this, I did see a lot of confusion about this palette online. The concept of this palette is so genius. It is so perfect because these middle shades right here are meant to adjust any of the bronzer or highlighting shades to your liking. So say, for example, if you guys really like the pink sky shade right here, but you're like, you know what? It's just a little bit too deep for me and I want to use it as a brightening effect, you just add a little bit of the white to it, so you make it customizable to your liking, you know? Same thing with the dark sky shade right here. This palette concept is so perfect. Honestly, I do think that it could have been a little bit more deep. Like I said, we will go into swatches within this video, but right off the bat, I want to say the palette is very beautiful. Like, I love this concept right here, y'all. This literally looks like my face, honestly. The weight of it is very, very nice. It feels good in the hands. I want to say, y'all, a huge kudos and a huge shout out to Lunar Beauty because they actually did reach out to me, and this is something that I was honestly kind of like surprised about, because I will be honest, like, I do get this perception of Manny that he would kind of get defensive over his brand, which I totally do understand because it is like your baby. However, the Lunar Beauty team reached out to me and they were very open to constructive criticism, and they were open to me trying out this full collection, and I'm super excited that they did that, because that to me shows that they are receptive and they are open to like hearing from people out there, and I really do appreciate that. Because like I said, like, honestly, I'm just keeping it real with you guys, like, I get this impression of Manny that he would just be defensive and like catty, you know what I'm saying? That's just the perception I get. Obviously, I don't know him, I could totally be way wrong about that, but they sent me this full collection, y'all, so I am so excited. The one thing I'm going to like already rave about, you guys do not understand, these brushes, y'all. I showed them to my mom and my mom was like, I need those brushes. I was like, girl, you better back up. These are mine. These brushes are absolutely amazing. I'm going to use them within today's video, but just telling you guys right off the bat, the quality of this, you can just feel it. They feel nice and weighted, and then the density of the brushes and how soft they are. I literally, y'all, as soon as I opened up this package, I like felt the brushes and I was like, oh, it's already a win. Like, for real with these brushes, absolutely love them. I am so excited to try these. Like, honestly, y'all, and for the price point, Oh, we'll go into the full depths of it within this video, of course, but just letting you guys know right off the bat, these brushes are bomb.com. Anyways, y'all, I'm going to try my hardest within this video to like speed it up because I know that my reviews take so long. I'm only going to do one side of my face. Yes, I know I'm wearing my beanie. However, I normally don't like contour or bronze my forehead because 9 times out of 10 I'm wearing a beanie anyways. And even if I don't, I ain't got no hairline, so it's kind of like hard. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really bronze and contour. Yes, I can, but then it's obviously hard to like blend. You get what I'm saying. So within today's video, I am going to be like highlighting and bronzing my cheek as well as my eye. That's something that I like to do so that way we get more uses out of the palette. I don't really contour my nose because honestly, y'all, my nose is like kind of already thin, so that's not something that I really do. So we're going to be focusing on eyes and cheeks within today's video. So if you guys are interested in that, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. If y'all are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications so that way you'll get notified when I upload a new video, and make sure I'll get this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, before we get into the actual face palette, I wanted to talk about these brushes just for a minute, only because I am like so shook by them. Like honestly, y'all, the quality of these for the price point has me shook. You can get this full brush set right here for $65 for 7 brushes. And I'm just so shook because honestly, y'all, when I worked at MAC, a brush this big and this dense would literally cost $62. And he sells this just by itself for 18 bucks, but within the brush set, you can get 7 brushes for $65. Like, I don't know what's up with these brushes, y'all, but I can just tell you guys already that whenever he comes out with a brush set in the future, I'm going to buy it. For the longest time, I have heard great things about his brushes, but I'm like, I don't really need any more brushes, y'all. I literally freelanced for so many years. I worked at MAC. I got 60% off. So I bought so many brushes. And I always was just like, I don't need any more brushes, you know? But after feeling those, y'all, and on top of that too, let's talk about the aesthetic. Like, they are so cute. And they're weighted. I'm just shook by these brushes. I had to throw this in there because I was like, y'all, he did it right with those brushes. And $65. Also, speaking of which, if you guys are interested in this full collection, he does have a bundle, which is $150 for, oh my gosh, $150 for 4 lip products, 7 brushes, and the bag, as well as the face palette. We're going to go ahead and move into the face palette right here. So this is it once again. The packaging is actually really cute, and I like the like holographicness of it. Holographic. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, okay? Anyways, there is 10 shades within here, and there is a total of 1.4 ounces of product, y'all, which is 39.76 grams of product. And I do want to say, this is a really good price point, especially for what you're getting. Yes, I will be honest and straight up with you guys. I do feel like the depth could have went a little bit more deep. However, I said it in my commentary video, just in case you guys didn't see. What I feel like would have been a really good idea for him to do is to actually like cut the amount of shades in here and come out with 2 different palettes. I think it would have been really nice to have a light to medium and then a dark to deep palette, so that way he's fully inclusive with it. However, this is all a huge learning curve for him, and I feel like he's gonna know in the future to go a little bit more deep with these, y'all. Oh my gosh, my mouth is getting like cotton dry right now, so I'm like fumbling on my words. Anyways, I already put foundation on the back of my hand. I am going to go into swatches of this palette. I want to start off with the shade right here, Nude Sky. I'm not going to be swatching the highlights, y'all, because I'm like, what for, you know? But anyways, I want to start off with this Nude Sky shade right here, because this one just, like, it's just so light to me that honestly, I'm a little confused at, like, how it would be a bronze. Y'all, yeah, this one doesn't show up like at all. And I'm really trying to picture, y'all. I'm telling you, like, I have a friend who was literally NC15. This, it just wouldn't, like, y'all can see like how light that is, you know what I mean? So I'm kind of like trying to picture obviously the most fair-skinned person out there, and I still feel like this would be a little bit too light. However, I do feel like it would be a good shade to mix just in case any other shades are a little bit too deep, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's go ahead and move into Bronze Sky. I feel like this is going to be the one that's perfect for me. Yeah, this shade actually looks very beautiful. I love that there is not too much warmth with this, because I feel like, y'all, sometimes with these bronzers there's too much orangeness. So let me go ahead and swatch this on my hand. Yeah, this right here actually looks beautiful. All right, so this is that shade right there, Bronze Sky. Then we're gonna go ahead and move into Tan Sky. And honestly, y'all, I'm like building these up big time. And I did put foundation on my hand so that way you guys can see the depth of them. Oh wow, this one actually swatches much more deep than it looks in the pan. See, this is why I was like, you know what, I really want to get my hands on this to see the depth of it, because some things really do look lighter in the pan, y'all. Yeah, like, say for example, I recently was shopping for a new powder form of foundation, and I was like, not new, but like my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, I'm normally a Y245, and I was like, y'all, I want to switch up to a lighter one because I'm getting a little bit more light now in the winter. And then I was looking at the shade lighter than it, and I was like, why does that look darker? And then I put it on and it was like way too pale. It's just a trip, you know? But this is the shade right here, Tan Sky, and you guys can see that goes pretty deep. So now I want to go into the shade Deep Sky, so that way we can see the depths of that one. All right, y'all, so this is the shade Deep Sky right there. To be honest with you, see, this is the thing. That's why the blush palette threw me off. This looks way more deep on a swatch than it does in the pan. Like, literally, this is the shade right here. Y'all see that? Like, look at that shade and then look at it on my hand. Like, look at that. It looks so different, you know what I mean? Like, this swatch comes out way more deep. That's why I was like, I really want to get my hands on this, because honestly, yes, looking at it, it does look very light. And you know what? Maybe this palette could have gone a little bit more deep, you know what I'm saying? Because there is a, I'll put the name of it, but the Fenty bronzer, that's really like a contour, not a bronzer, comes out so deep that it's obviously so inclusive. But like I had said before, Manny MUA opening up about the MOQ and being a smaller indie brand does play a huge factor in it, because say for example, like Fenty Beauty, y'all, she got money for days. She's literally a billionaire. On top of that, I believe Kendo owns Fenty Beauty. So it's like they have all the resources to come out with as many SKUs as like the world could hold, you know, because they have that much money. Now I'm going to go ahead and swatch the Dark Sky shade. This is the mixer. And obviously we know this one is like super deep, you know, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it on my hand so that way you guys can see just how deep it goes. Honestly, y'all, I do have to say, okay, now that I'm swatching these, my opinion is changing, because I was like, you know what, yeah, I could have gone more deep, but y'all, look at that. That is pretty deep. It does go pretty deep. Yes, it could have gone darker. Let me just go ahead and say that, because I think of somebody like how do you say her name, like Naima Tang, like her deepness, I feel like this probably wouldn't be a contour too, you know what I'm saying? So I do want to factor that in. However, these swatches, honestly, y'all, they do come out way more deep than they look in the pan, as you can tell. Like, the one that's really throwing me for a loop right now is Deep Sky, because I look at this and I'm like, y'all, it really doesn't look that deep, but then look at it on my hand, you know? Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off my hands, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into the review portion of me actually putting this on and testing out the brushes as well as the formulation of this. I do want to say though, the swatches of these, let me show you guys yet again so that way you guys can see. Can y'all not focus on my face? Thank you. That the depth is actually way more deep than it appears in the pans. All right, y'all, to start this off, I'm going to be taking the dual-ended face brush with the shade Bronze Sky. I may dip into Tan Sky, depending upon how deep Bronze Sky goes. Y'all, I went to go wash off my hands, and I just have to say, like, I feel like my perception of seeing things online is really changing. Yes, I've said that before about his blush palette, but then washing those shades off in normal lighting, not underneath all these lights, y'all, I literally have like six lights in front of me. It's so much. Like, looking at it under there, I'm like, y'all, his palette really does go into a really good depth. Yes, it could go a little bit darker, do not get me wrong. There could have been a shade in here that is like really deep, but the shades do come out way more deep than they appear in the pan, and it's just like throwing me for a loop right now. I'm kind of thinking like, you know what, maybe I should stop judging based upon what I see online, because y'all, there has been so many times that I've like called out, you know, like Dior and I believe like Chanel of like their shade range, and now I'm like thinking maybe it's just the imagery, maybe the shades come out more deep, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm like, what y'all saw from the swatches right there, just imagine underneath regular lighting. I probably, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture and actually put it right in here so that way you guys can see underneath normal lighting the depth of it, because I'm just like, I don't know, I'm getting a little bit like, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't judge so much from what I see online, because these obviously come out way deeper than they appear in the pan, as well as the blushes. So now I'm thinking about all these other brands. Anyways, y'all, is it shady of me to use a Jeffree Star mirror while using Manny MUA's products? I don't know, but I just feel like this is so much lighter, y'all. That palette is like very weighted, because obviously there's a lot of product in there. I'm gonna be dipping into here, and I'm gonna be actually just stippling this on, and y'all, I'm just letting you guys know right off the bat, if this formulation is like the blush formulation, I'm gonna be in love with it. Like, I love that formula so much. Whenever anybody like wants a blush, I'm like, y'all get that one. Like, you get 6 blushes in there, and I like feel his price points are really fair, you know what I mean? So I'm going to stipple this on, and then I will go on, obviously, and then blend it out later. And then I will probably use a little tiny bit of Tan Sky. And then let's just see how this is. You know what? So far, I am liking that this actually is not too orange. He did mention that within his video. And honestly, that is something that I really like too. Like, y'all know I've said it so many times. I love a more neutral bronzer. And I feel like people don't realize you can be a little bit more neutral with your bronzer. So many people think that it has to be like orange, orange, orange. And I'm like, y'all, whenever I tan, I don't turn orange. I turn neutral, you know? Anyway, so let me just go ahead and pack this on so that way you guys can see how it layers up on the skin. And honestly, y'all, let me just tell you guys, I love these brushes already. Like, the feel of them, they feel so luxurious. Y'all, I'm over here putting on this bronzer and I completely forgot to read like the whole about this palette. Duh. I just feel like there's just so many things to talk about, obviously. Anyway, so this is what it says right here. It says how to use the Outer Dimension palette. Creamy neutral toned bronzing powders, highly blendable with a long wear soft focus skin-like finish. Add warmth and dimension to flatter your face. Vitamin C and E help promote an even skin tone and hydration. Apply the moon side to any area you wish to add some depth and color along the hairline, hollows of the cheek, or along the jawline. Dreamy coconut scent. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know this was coconut scented. Hold up, y'all. Oh my gosh, it does smell like coconut. Oh, that smells really good. I didn't even know that it was fragranted. That's what's up. So then this is the sun side right here. So this says creamy, highly blendable brightening powders that deliver radiance, blurring, and a long wear skin-like finish. Formulated for a luminous matte look, vitamin C and E help promote skin's brightness and hydration. Apply the sunside to any areas you wish to brighten: under the eyes, the center of the forehead, the front of the chin, or down the bridge of the nose. So I'm pretty much just going to be using that just right here. And then I'll probably put a little bit on the inner corner of my eye and maybe on my eyelid as well too. Anyways, y'all, let me get back to like bronzing up here. I was just putting this on right now and I was like, I didn't even like read the about. Duh. I mean, even though we know, obviously, it's like a bronzer slash contour palette, you know? All right, y'all. So I'm pretty much done with the Bronze Sky shade. This shade is absolutely beautiful. This is something that I always look for in a bronzer. Y'all know, if you guys watch my Huda Beauty videos, I absolutely love the glowish bronzers, specifically because they are more neutral toned. Absolutely love them. I feel like this shade is very, very similar to that. I could deepen this up a little bit. However, I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I am going to deepen it up with the Tan Sky shade because I want to see how that shade is as well. So I'm going to be taking this LBF3 brush right here. This one's actually not as dense as the others, but let's see how it is. I feel like this one's a little bit more bouncy, but oh, that one actually, ooh, this actually picks up more pigment than the other ones, y'all. So I'm going to just take a little bit of this at first just to like create a little bit more depth. Y'all, I may have taken a little bit too much of this on the brush, but it's all good though because we're gonna go ahead and just blend everything on top. Normally what I like to do, I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but whenever I'm doing any type of like bronzing or contouring, is I'll go ahead and do it and then I'll take my regular face powder, my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, on top just to kind of tone it down a little bit more, just to make sure everything is well blended. This shade right here, Tan Sky, by the way, is a little bit more warm tone than the shade Bronze Sky. I definitely do love the shade Bronze Sky, but yeah, this one right here is pretty too, but as you guys can see, it is a little bit more orangey. All right, y'all, I'm actually going to be taking this shade right here, Nude Sky, which is the shade that I'm a little bit, you know, kind of confused on and how it's like a bronzer, because like I said, I am like an NC30, NC35 in MAC powders or MAC foundations, and I'm a 240/300 in Huda Beauty, which is pretty like light medium, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to show you guys right here because I did actually already take some of it to kind of clean up my bronzer right here, and you guys can see that this would actually show up like a highlight on me. This is something that I do obviously because I do get a little bit messy cleaning up my bronzer and contour, and you guys could see right there, yeah, like that would show up on me honestly like as a highlight, and like I said, I'm like light to medium, so I'm just kind of thinking even on the lightest of skin tones on how this would be kind of like a bronzer. I mean, let me just say though, it does clean up this area really well. I obviously normally would use a translucent powder, however, I'm trying to utilize as many shades in this palette as possible to see how they actually work. I know right now my cheeks look a little bit harsh up top, but I am going to be going in with the other side of this brush right here to be taking a little bit of the Pink Sky shade. I may mix in a little bit of the Peach Sky, but definitely the pink. You know what, actually, and what I'm going to do is Bright Sky and Pink Sky to just kind of like lighten this section up right here. Let's see how this is. Oh, wow. These, wait, I wonder if this has some type of luminosity to it, because this actually is looking like like a little bit of a highlight. Do you guys see that? Oh yeah, it adds like a glow to it. I mean, I know it says like luminous on the thing, however, I don't see any like shimmer. They actually look matte. And you know what, on the actual like little pamphlet thing, it says right here, where did it say that it said matte, right? I could have sworn it said matte, because I'm like, wait, why does this look a little bit shimmery? Not that I like minded, I feel like this is pretty, but it definitely looks a little bit shiny. Creamy, highly blendably brightening powders that deliver radiance, blurring along wear skin-like formula. Yeah, it literally says formulated for a luminous matte look. Oh, luminous matte. I'm so stupid. I thought it was just matte. This actually looks very beautiful. Like, I feel like it highlights very well. This one definitely does show a little bit more texture than the bronzer powders. I feel like the bronzing ones definitely do look a little bit more blurring, as to where this does show just a little bit more texture. I'm gonna go ahead and sweep some of this underneath my eye though. You know what, let me take a little bit of peach mixed with pink just to like brighten up the under eye area. Okay, legit, I'm now mixing peach sky, bright sky, and pink sky all together, and I'm kind of like taking that underneath my eye, because like directly underneath my eye I don't want too light. I feel like this looks beautiful right here, just mixing the pink sky and bright sky. But underneath my eye, I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be too light. So a little bit of peach, a little bit of pink, and a little bit of bright. And then we're just taking that right under there. Okay, so right there you guys can see the highlighted and bronze effect. Yes, it does look a little bit harsh right now. Do not worry, I'm going to flip this brush around, and then I'm just going to buff these all together so that way we have a seamless blend. Definitely be careful with the brightening powders. I do feel like they do show off a little bit more texture because of that luminosity in there. They kind of remind me of the wishful powders, the luminous powders, where I'm like, they're really, really pretty, but show off a lot of texture. And this one, I didn't use too much, you know? But I definitely do think that adds like a beautiful glow. Honestly, it adds the glow that I like. You guys know that I'm always like, I like a glow from within, and this is definitely a glow from within type of highlight right here. I'm going to just take a little bit of my face brush here to like make sure those all blend together. The formulation of this is actually really, really beautiful. The bronzers I really like. I feel like they're blurring and the shade is like really, really bomb because it's not too orange. Like I hate when a bronzer is like way too orange, you know? Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and do this other cheek off of camera and then we'll come back and then contour the eye just a little bit. All right, y'all, so I got this side all bronzed up. Now I did throw on a little bit of the shade Twilight from the Prism blush palette. So now I'm just gonna throw a little bit of contour on my eye. And just in case you guys don't know what that is, basically just shape the eye. Normally that's what I do in my videos to make my eyes look a little bit bigger, you know? So I'm gonna go back in with the shade Bronze Sky. Also, another thing that I did notice while doing my other side is be very careful with the light side because it does show obviously on the palette like right here instructions that you can use it underneath the eye. However, there is shimmer in there. It's a very, very light shimmer, but I did notice it is showing off a little bit more of my texture. You know those like goosebump looking things underneath your eyes? I don't know what they're called. It look like chicken skin. It did show that off a little bit more, so I probably wouldn't use this directly underneath my eye because I don't like that texture showing, but it does look very, very beautiful on my cheeks right here. It adds a beautiful glow, literally the type of glow that I like, just like I said about the Huda Beauty Luminous Pressed Powder. But yeah, directly underneath my eye, I don't really like it. But I'm going to be just taking a little bit of this shade right here. This, oh, once again, is the shade Bronze Sky. That's the first one that I used on my cheeks. Honestly, y'all, I do feel like the formulation of these bronzers are like super, super beautiful. I really do like them, and I do like the color of them, specifically the shade right here, the Bronze Sky. But the Tan Sky, yes, it was a little bit more warm on my skin tone, but it still looked very beautiful. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this right here. And I wanted to say too that these are actually very buildable. You can use them very, very soft or go in and like build them up, you know? So you guys can see that right there, already adding a little bit more depth around my eye, which is something that I need. This is something that I would literally do every single day going into work at Mac because I'm just like, oh, I have a small eyelid, but then my eye just, I don't know. I just feel like I need a little bit more shape. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I would do right here. And then up on my brow bone, I'm actually going to take that really light shade called Nude Sky just to buff this out a little bit. Yeah, you guys can see right there, like, it literally comes off like a highlight on me. All right, so that's just with the contour right there. I am going to throw a little bit of like one of the highlight shades. I think I'm going to take a little bit of the Peach Sky shade. Y'all can see just from right there, look at the difference between this right eye and this left eye. It just adds much more depth. That's why I'm like, this is something that I gotta do all the time, especially with my eyes. Because y'all, I have this like Neanderthal, is that the right word? Like caveman, like brow bone. This brow bone is so strong. I'm just like, ooh. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this peach sky shade here just to like, you know, make the lid look a little bit bigger. Oh, this peach sky shades are really, really pretty. Yeah, these definitely do have more shimmer than they appear to have in the pan. Not as much shimmer as the Huda Beauty shade. Y'all know the Huda Beauty shade, the Huda Beauty powder. Those ones to me, I'm just like, ooh, those are so shimmery. So I'm just gonna pack a little bit of this on, and then I will take some in my inner corner too. All right, y'all, so that's usually how I contour my eye. As you guys can see, it does make a difference, and it's super quick, super easy. It literally takes like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other eye off of camera really, really fast, and I'm actually gonna throw on the clear gloss so you guys can see what that looks like, and then I'll come back and give you guys my final thoughts. All right, y'all, so this is the completed look right here. I did throw on the clear lip gloss from Lunar Beauty as well. This one is called Crystal Kiss. I'm honestly like really surprised that I like this because normally I don't like just a clear gloss. However, as you guys see, this just gives that like really wet lip look, and I love that. Normally I use the Nude Stick 06 shade because it does match my lip color and then just enhances it. I also did throw on a little bit of the shade Tan Sky underneath my eyes as well as some mascara, just to let you guys know. To give you guys my final opinion slash review of this palette, I really love it. The formulation is absolutely amazing. I am 100% going to want like a single shade of the one Bronze Sky, because that one to me is just like my perfect shade because it's neutral, it's not too orangey, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it adds like a contour and a bronzer in one, and I love that because I don't really like to like contour and then bronze and then put on blush, you know what I'm saying? I like an all-in-one type of thing, and that shade did it. To give you guys my final like opinions about the shade range in here, I really do feel like it goes into depth, you know? Actually, like looking at it in person and looking at the pans, I'm like, honestly, this is really not that deep. But then swatching it, I was like, oh snap, they definitely do go way more deep than they appear in the pan. And I feel like that's like something that's so eye-opening to me that I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to pay attention to this now moving forward, because the blush palette had opened up my eyes, and then now this opens up my eyes. I'm like, okay, things really do swatch differently than they appear in the pan. As far as formulation, absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but it definitely does give a blurring effect. It really does make the skin look beautiful. The one thing that I do have to say, as far as the highlights, I really like them on the like high points of the cheek. However, directly under the eye, I don't like, because it does have that shimmer, so it does accentuate my texture there. That's what I didn't like. However, putting it in the tear duct of the eye is beautiful. Putting it on the eye is beautiful, as well as the higher points of the cheekbone. Honestly, y'all, it really does give me that highlight that I like. You guys know I'm always saying I really don't like the over the top highlighted look. I like a glow from within, and this definitely does do that. The one and only thing, like actually like working with this palette a little bit more, is once again, like I said in the beginning of this video, the shade Nude Sky to me still kind of throws me off. I did use it to clean up my contour slash bronzer, as well as on my eyes too. And I feel like it's a good like blending out type of shade. However, I'm still kind of confused how that would be considered as a bronzer. Yes, I understand, like, you know, for fair people out there who have like really porcelain skin, I totally get that. But like, I still feel like it's still light. You know what I'm saying? I just keep on picturing my friend who's an NC-15, and I'm like, this would not show up as a bronzer. You know what I mean? So maybe that shade could have been removed, and then a deeper shade could have been put in, and then every skin tone would have been covered. Because I definitely do feel like this shade Bronze Sky, you could use it very lightly, and you could build it up very deep if you wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Overall, the concept of this palette is amazing. I really do like it, honestly. If you guys are looking for a like highlighting slash, I was gonna say blush, highlighting slash contour slash bronzer palette, this one is really beautiful. The formulation is nice. Y'all, the like complete star of the show for me is the brushes. I absolutely love his brushes. I've heard great things about them, but like, oh my gosh, they feel so luxurious on the face, and then the price point is right up my alley, because y'all know I'm cheap, I'm broke, like, you know what I'm saying? Like $65 for 7 brushes, I feel like it's really good. Oh, and a bag too on top of that. So yeah, overall, I do have to say I really did like this palette. And honestly, like moving forward, I'm gonna be a little bit more conscious with my opinions, because I'm like, you know what, things really do look lighter. Like, y'all, just to give you guys a final look underneath all my studio lighting, like, don't all these shades look pretty light on here? You'd be like, no, they don't go that deep. But as you guys saw from the picture, they really do go deep. So that's why I'm like, y'all, now I know. Let me not judge a book by its cover, even though I had said that before in my commentary videos as well too. That's why I was so curious to try out this palette. So anyways, y'all, if you guys get this palette, make sure you guys let me know how you like it. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.